Hello, and thank you for joining Paper Crafting with Tracey. Today I'm going to show you how to make this card here using the Magnolia Mood stamp set and coordinating dies. The dies with this stamp set are they've got some quite intricate dies, as you can see here. And this one here comes out looking like this. So you can see quite intricate. So I'm going to use that as a background. The other thing we used for this card is the exposed brick 3D embossing folder. I don't know if you can see that very clearly as to what the design looks like. So what we're going to start with is just a piece of cardstock. And it just has to be big enough for this stamp. Okay, so you can see it's quite a large stamp that we're going to use for the flower. And I'm just going to use some granite gray because I wanted it to be a little bit more subtle. Okay, so we'll just ink that up. Stick it on. It doesn't matter how you put it on because we are going to be die cutting it out. So just make sure that's on there. Good. There we go. Okay, and now we're going to use some of our watercolor pencils. And I'm going to show you a technique using the color lifter blending brushes. So I'm just going to use some crushed curry in the center. I know this does not look like crushed curry, but I promise it is when it goes in. And I'm not coloring the whole thing, and I don't have to be perfect because the blending brushes are going to be the ones that smooth it out. And I'm just going to add some calypso coral accents because I want the flowers to actually be white with just kind of the pink centers. So that's all I'm doing is just adding a bit of color. And again, you don't want to color the whole thing, and you don't have to, you can see I'm not really kind of making sure I'm coloring within the lines kind of and making sure it's smooth. That's what your blending brush is going to do afterwards. So we'll add a bit here. And maybe a little bit down here. Just kind of in the darker areas. There we go. And now we'll take some, this is Old Olive, and I just want to put a little bit of shading in. And again, I'm not worried about going near the edges because your color lifter is going to blend it all for you. So we're just adding some color in here. And I'm just kind of going in the same direction that this stamp has got some shading in there. There. So I know it doesn't look like nothing fancy now, but now that I use my color lifter, I'm going to start in the center with the lightest color. Actually, I'm going to use the calypso coral first, and you're just going to run it over where you've done it, and you can see it just kind of smooths out your coloring. And it will actually spread a little bit of the color if you want it to. And then you can always go over with some more of the watercolor. So this is kind of like watercoloring without having watercolor paper. Okay, and this will kind of just blend everything in there. And now I'll come to the leaves. So you can see how that's spreading out the color to the edges. So, and I like a little bit of the texture of not having everything smooth. And there we have it. So I'm going to take this to my die cutting machine and I'm going to cut it out. So with the magic of video, I have one done for you. And I've already cut that out. So I'm going to take my card base, which I'm just using basic gray. And I've already embossed a piece of white cardstock. All the measurements will be in my blog there that's down in the left corner. And we're just going to assemble. Oh, out of tape on that one, so I'll use a different one. Okay, now for a little pop of color in the center, I'm using some Designer Series paper here, and this is part of the set Thoughtful Designs that's in the catalog. And they've kind of got a two-tone to it. So hopefully that shows up well on there. You can see a little bit more pink to the corally color down there. And then there's different shades. So we got some kind of blue, purple, the green undertones, and then kind of more turquoisey blue. So that's available in the new catalog right now. So I'm just going to adhere this in the center. Like so. And then I'm going to attach these. And to attach this, I just used a little bit of multi-purpose glue. And all I did, again, as I've said before, a little bit of glue goes a long way. And I didn't want all the edges adhered. I wanted a little bit of lifting. So I'm just going to put that down on my card about like so. And now I will put some more multi-purpose glue on this one, making sure I'm getting a little bit closer to the edges this time. And this will catch some of the other that's not down. Okay, and I think I'll put that one like about so. It doesn't line up, so don't try. I wanted the more intricate detail as a background. So just like so. This time I've put it a little bit lower than the other one, and I'm fine with that. So for the inside, I'm just taking a piece of basic white cardstock, and there is another stamp in there. Okay, it's just a small one, this time with a flower. So again, I'll just use my granite gray, like so. And I'll just quickly, with a little bit of the pencils, color it in. Nothing too fancy. And use the color lifter again just to, make sure you start with the lighter color. You can wipe it off too, just like you would with watercoloring and your watercolor painters. And we'll attach that. And there we go. A nice texturized, any occasion card using the Magnolia Mood stamp set. So I hope you've enjoyed this edition of Paper Crafting with Tracey. Please subscribe to the channel, and happy stamping.